In this video, I'm going to talk about how I install DUROCK cement board. I'm putting this down before I put down the ceramic tile. I'm going to go over a couple important steps when you lay this down and a couple do's and don'ts. As you can see, I have this laid out as kind of a brickwork pattern. What I mean by that is no seam is lined up. Now also, the subfloor is 3/4 inch plywood, tongue and groove. It's glued and screwed down. You also want to make sure that these seams don't line up with your plywood seams. So this is what it should look like. And I'm going to put a fresh piece down over there and talk about some more key important steps. So what I have here is a thin set mortar with polymer. Because it's going down on top of plywood, you're going to want a little bit of polymer in it. Another key important step is use the rock-on screws for this DUROCK. I see a lot of guys use drywall screws. I'd say that's a big don't. Do not cheap out and use cheaper screws. Use the screws made for DUROCK. Now once your thin set's laid down, I use a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch notch trowel. I have a little bit of a cutout over there for a furnace vent. Now a really easy way to cut this is just with a jigsaw, and you can use kind of a coarse wood blade on it. Cuts it really easy and doesn't chip it away really at all. So I'm going to lay this on here and I'm going to go over another key important step and something I see a lot of guys do the wrong way. So once I get this handle laid down, I'm going to shift it into position and make sure that these taped edges don't overlap. It's kind of easy to get these tapered edges up on top of each other. So I just want to make sure that that's not overlapped. Alright, now that it's in place, what I see a lot of guys do, and it's completely wrong, is they'll go around the outside edge and screw this down. Well, that's just trapping air pockets under this. Think about when you were a kid, you know, sometimes in gym class we'd take that big parachute, lift it up and pull it down quick and hold it to the ground. Now you created a huge air pocket. So once this is laid down where you want it, I step right in the middle and then I walk out to the edges. Walk out to that edge, and I'm just kind of pushing air bubbles, go out to the corners. Now your sheet's going to move around and make sure you don't get it overlapped on the tape edge. Now once I've done that, I'm going to start screwing this down. Now I'm going to start right in the center, or eyeball the center. Make sure my taped edges are not overlapped anywhere. Make sure this is not overlapped. And now you can strike your lines if you know where your floor joists are, which you should. And depending on how thick your floor is, I'm going 1 1/4 on these. If you have a real thick floor, you could go 1 5/8 or whatever length you need. But I start in the center, and then I work my way out to the edges. Kind of make like a L, and then I work my way to a corner. And then I'll do this corner, and then that corner, and so on. So this is 1/4 inch thick. So I usually put the screws about every 6 inches. Like I said, I'm just going to eyeball this for the video, but normally I'll strike lines and get them pretty accurate to within the 6 inch. If you're using 1/2 inch, I usually go a little bit wider, maybe about 8 inch on a 1/2 inch. So I'll just go along. And now I'm going to go this way. Work my way to that outside edge. And now I'm going to work my way to this corner, and then I'll start over again. Once this corner's done, I'll start over here. I'll do the same thing, work to that corner. And that's forcing any voids and air out to escape your sheets of DUROCK. So that's probably my key main things I want to talk about when you install this. I've never had a cracked tile, I've never had a callback, I've never had cracked grout. I kind of go overboard on doing a good foundation to lay your ceramic tile on, and then your ceramic tile is going to be crack free and squeak free for life. I know some guys don't use the thin set, they'll just screw it down. I don't ever do that, I always use the thin set. Might cost you another, depends on how big the room is. This room is 306 square feet, so it's about $60 worth of thin set. So do you want to save $60 and risk a cracked tile or a squeaky floor, or do you want to do it the right way? So those are just kind of my main tips on the do's and don'ts. Use the rock-on screws. Do not use the drywall screws. They have a much smaller head on them. These have a serrated head. They'll go down and hold this down very nicely. The serrated head will kind of tear through and hold it down good. Use thin set. Start from the middle, work your way to the edges, and you're going to have a great looking ceramic tile floor when you're done. I thank you guys for watching.